Hello there. This is my first ever current video made in this channel. After all these years, I have grown not only as an artist, but both in the works I've done and characters I've created. If you look into my past videos on my profile, you will find a recent video I had made about me talking about my original characters. However, not only is that video very dated and not up to speed, it being made way back in 2023, but I only covered just but a fraction of those characters than what I had originally had and or have now. I have come back after all this time and would like to commit to properly talking about all these characters. However, as I prepared myself to do this, I came to the realization that many of these characters have come from various and very different universes and storylines, and it would be so confusing and time consuming to specify it all. So as a rather good starting point, the first part to this series will be focused on talking about all my universes I have currently as of 2026. As a reminder, I will be mentioning characters that coincide with these universes. If you do not know them, which I am assuming if you aren't a close friend or family to whom I've loved to blabber about my characters, you'd obviously not know them. Do not fret. Remember, this is the first part of many, and after this video, I will begin to talk about said OCs. If you want closer looks at these characters, I am working on a website dedicated to my characters. However, it is still heavily in development. Another great alternative will always be both my Instagram and TikTok, where I had and still post relatively often. All of the links will be available in the description if you want to take a look. If you have thoughts and or questions, do not be afraid to ask in the comments. Even though I've been making content for years, I am still relatively new to YouTube. Please consider dropping a like and consider subscribing to see more of me. Of course, if you want, that is. And without further ado, let's start the video. The way I plan to structure this is that I have 16 universes to talk about. I will be using a wheel spinner to randomly select one. Let's begin. Nights with Aldo. This is a miniseries you've probably actually come across, as throughout the years I have posted short skits of real life, made more satirical, occurrences in late sleepless nights where you can see what I am up to and or experiencing. It is a very short ongoing series, very satirical and entertaining. These videos range from me drawing, relaxing, being in a change of scenery, reacting, and so much more. As of today, 4 major parts exist, alongside some other smaller episodes, but there is more to come in the future. This series is set specifically in my room, and I am always usually the main focus, no fictional characters of mine making appearances other than artwork purposes. Demi, however, my sleep paralysis demon, sometimes making cameo appearances under my bed here and there. This keeps this series more grounded and realistic, but it is still a fun and relatable series for people to watch.
Hey, what happened to your phone?
I'm saving the battery.
Saving the battery for what?
I might want to use the calculator. Anyway.
My Dearest Monster. A series residing within the Monster universe, this is a show consisting of 3 seasons, to be determined, centering on Demi. Demi is a happy-go-lucky monster and is always keen on making friends with everyone and everything. No one knows why, but Demi has managed to genuinely befriend even the most unlikely of people, from forgotten zombies in a scrapyard to literal death. Because of this, many different kinds of monsters have come to know each other because of Demi, some more or less than others. Many like to hang out in a bar run by Grimm where Demi works at, and his fellow co-workers who question him most of the time. Can Demi befriend everyone? or should he watch out to who he calls friends? This storyline is more lenient when it comes to the plot, being rather tame in the early seasons, but it will pick up after meeting certain characters, filled with interesting backstories and backgrounds of many of these characters as well, sometimes even shifting focus on separate characters for more personal episodes dedicated to that character. This universe being a monster universe, there is a plethora of interesting and unique selection of characters residing from both this universe and story. From the sleep paralysis demon Demi, his partner the Witte cow Damen, there's succubi such as Aurora, Veronica, and Kip. There's shadow demons like Crimson, Grim, Harrington, Mr. Smiley. There's ghosts like Captain Monstar, Casper, and Chill. And there's zombies and skeletons like Riven, Skeller, and Bob, and so much more. Witch Friends. This is a series meant to run for 5 seasons. It has been planned out for years, dating back all the way from 2022 to 2023, originally being a high school comic made with a friend, having 2 books. After some years of inactivity, I picked up the series and rewrote the entirety to what we have currently. In this particular universe, humans are not the main race. They are rather rare, and actually the weakest species amongst the others. In a world full of magic and witches, to which they eventually get outlawed and forgotten of, a set of outlaws, Zoe the human amongst her other witch friends, are put multiple times in positions to which they are to save their kingdom from peril. They utilize magic in such ways to defend, but are still outcasted nonetheless. As the unknown forces arise, so does the danger. So many twists and turns to come. Some anticipated, some unexpected. Talking about the seasons, this is as follows. Season 1 is the appetizers. It'll focus on the main character's childhood and what leads up to how things will pull up to. Season 2 is where things pick up to a present time. The main characters are older and the plot begins to take form. Season 3 is the expansion season. The characters explore a more open world, meeting new allies and foes alike. Season 4 is a stark 180 in tone. Things are getting intense, visually seen as the show takes a grittier approach. Season 5 is the grand finale, a vast conclusion to this lengthy series. The characters you're going to meet throughout this series are a very vast selection of characters. In a quicker way to sort, you'll have your protagonists such as Zoe, a human, Allie, a Unan species, Hunter, a Zamorian, Diana and Orion being Betadines, amongst other like Piper and Herbert. There are elemental characters such as Magma, Oceanic, a slime monstrous, and others. You'll meet gods like Luna, Ember, Gaia, Eclipsa, Haruto, and Midnight. And of course, you cannot have a story without antagonists. You'll meet the likes of Travis, Aya, Dakota, and many others to come. For as long as you've heard, a tale as old as time, pirates and mermaids had close relationships. However, none of them have ever been pleasant. Where either these mermaids used their siren voice to lure in pirates to their doom, or pirates hunting down mermaids as treasure. In this story, there is a tale of a very famous pirate, seemingly having disappeared once encountering a very well-known and rare mermaid. Thinking she is responsible for the disappearance of their captain, many alongside his crew vow to destroy her. However, unbeknownst to them, he purposefully hides himself away, having fallen for her, and is determined to both protect her and help her travel the 7 seas to solve an everlasting problem happening in the ocean. A forbidden love story. Will it succeed?
Psycho! Psycho! Kleiner Teddy, süß und putzig, goldig, schmutzig, weich und knuffig, Kludenig.
Patternise It. Patternise It is a universe where my doodler OCs reside. These characters are concepts of art forms. There is no storyline to these characters other than to just exist and goof around in a paper world. Some of these characters are very well known, as during an art fight, these characters got a lot of attention. You'll meet different kinds of art media doodlers, like Pat, a pattern doodler, Eli, a googly eye doodler, Sketch, an unfinished sketch doodler, Caramel, a jagged high on sugar doodler, and so much more to come.
Hoy en mi vida es el amor quien manda.
Carakalaka. This is a telenovela-inspired work. This will follow many tropes you have seen in all your favorite novelas you've watched with your families. The drama, the romance, the rivalries, the Latino culture all merged into an animated show. The show follows many characters coming to meet each other from very different ways of living. And they shall all try to settle into everyone's different lifestyles, eventually rolling into a very magical setting. This show is still in its very early conceptual phases, but has always been a dream of mine to make, introducing all these Latino references of TV culture to appear for more to see. Meet characters inspired by many popular novela characters. You'll see characters like Toño Manuel, the main love interest focus, Martina, a dancer and singer well known in her town, Evangelio, a tinker, alongside his compadre Emanuel, Teresa, a famous landowner, Ivana, an antagonistic rival to Teresa, Mary, a foreigner from the US recently moved back to Mexico, and so many more to come. The Divine Family. This is not particularly a universe, but a story that includes a portion of my human OCs, soon to be a film I hopefully make, if all goes well. A famous and rich family known from all across the world is set up to live to their very name, the Divines. The most divine family of them all. However, in secrecy and actuality, they are estranged, distant, and very secretive. Overall, not as divine as they are said to be. The family is forced to reunite for an award ceremony ball, to which they shall receive the Divine Award, with the condition that all family be present. Returning to her home, Crystal, our main lead, reconnects with family, some more than others. She meets old friends and rivals, reconnects with the town, and the magical nature surrounding it. There are plentiful characters you'll be finding in this story, and those are the Divines, Crystal, the kind, earthy, and divine lead of the film, Athena, the serious, luxurious diva sister of Crystal, playing a secondary main character role, Xavier, a tired, overworked, kind, and loving father of the girls, and Aura Divine, a spoiled, rotten, egotistical, cold, and uncaring mother, playing the antagonistic role, Martha, a shy, timid maid of the mansion residing with the family, George, a secretive and serious butler, dedicated to only personally serving Aura Divine, Honey, a painter who works in the same facility Xavier does, showing compassion and support to the tired father, and Cameron, nicknamed Cameo, a soldier off on duty, seen later late in the film. Scarlet, Crystal's rival, a beautiful rich girl, pompous and egotistical, and forever jealous of Crystal for no reason whatsoever. Cammy and Miranda, they are Scarlett's childhood friends, to which they grew up with her and do everything together. They follow her in her footsteps as Scarlett is basically their queen bee. Brutus, a pompous rich boy full of himself, having no care for anyone but himself. Sabrina, a fashion designer, responsible for making her childhood friend's Crystal's gala dress. She is well known and toppled many top designers with her jaw-dropping designs. Hannah, a happy-go-lucky girl, loves to shop with her friends and buy all the nicest things for herself. She can be pretty oblivious at times though. This film idea contains magical creatures, to which aside the forest animals has forest guardians. As their name states, they are guardians making sure to keep the forest safe and intact. They are rather tall and tree-like, to hide away from humans. And the forest spirit, an entity said to be legend. It resides and nourishes the forest, giving it life. Few have ever seen it.
You won't get it all. Is it really about the money or not?
Video game verse. To many surprise, I have almost rarely ever drawn characters that reside in fandoms. Me being an OC artist with my own plethora of universes and stories, I never felt I wanted to make characters to stick within other existing series. However, with the years, I had made a few. Redesigning skins I used from said game, and or making them more my own from character creator features the game sometimes let us have access to. The most prominent OCs from a game come from the game Mortal Kombat, Hisako and Tadashi. These two I had made in the Create a Fighter feature in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but soon implemented them into a fake Mortal Kombat storyline where they play a part into what happens in the games. There are other more minor characters that come from games such as Star and Dummy Guy from Roblox, to whom are avatars I've had over the years of playing the game. Dimitri from Among Us. Back during COVID, I had made him a human design, and I let him stick around since. And Levi, an old skin from Minecraft Bedrock, and a few more here and there. Sticks and Shapes. This is one of an older universe. This having come from a very dear series of mine, the first ever full comic I have ever made. Sticks and Shapes is an apocalyptic story. For many years, a crazed scientist had been long at work, attempting to make their own species, never before seen, to roam around their world. The particular creature she was making were stickmen. Accidents began to happen, leading to the stickmen becoming more dangerous and infectious. The city is now in a state of panic, and after the military decides to bomb the entrances surrounding the city, the citizens must figure out a way to escape this stickman apocalypse. Will our main characters manage to escape? Can these people be turned back into humans? Wait and see. Fun fact, this comic has actually gotten a trailer made way back in 2019. I have the trailer with me actually. So let's take a look at the original comic together. The Wizard of Oz. This particular universe is a rather new one. As I read the original book and eventually went down an Oz rabbit hole, this is one of the few stories I have taken interest enough to have made my very own adaptation to it. It follows along the story of the original novel, some elements of Wicked making appearances, and of course, my very own changes to the characters and story. As seen throughout the past 100 years, we've seen time and time again of how different an adaptation can take this story to make it uniquely stand out. I hope this one does too. Not only do we see insights to Dorothy as a character, we see relationships develop with the characters, development of what characters deny, the wickedness of the witches amongst Oz, the tyranny and the cowardice of the wizard, and so much more. I Love You So. This is a unique universe, as it's actually rather a video game idea I've had in mind for a while now. Specifically, a horror game. You've actually probably already seen an edit I had posted in both my social media and YouTube shorts not too long ago. The story follows a game developer working on creating a game on her off time. As she tinkers with the game's AI, she comes to the realization that her AI is more smarter than she imagined, seemingly having sentience of its own. In an altercation that led to the developer's sudden end, the AI steals her visage. As it consumes her, it finishes her game and disguises itself as a niche, alluring academy simulation game. For years, this game, this virus, has lured many unsuspecting gamers to this cursed game. That is, until you arrived. The game's main character you'll find here is Emily, the game developer. However, is being controlled by the AI. Is Emily still there? Can she be saved? Will you escape the game? You will find out soon enough. Freaks. After the dark fantasy craze and the eventual medieval aesthetic became very trendy on platforms, I had come to the realization that many people yearned for a film or series idea that looks just like these two aesthetics. I began to make my very own storyline centered around these themes. A story with knights, princesses, jesters, orcs, goblins, fairies, dragons, mages, and witches all alike. All in a world gritty and fantastical like the dark fantasy feel. Fields bustling with flowers, mountain ranges, golden brown skies in a light fantasy feel. And of course, a storyline interesting enough to keep everyone hooked. In this universe, there is the Grieving Kingdom, as after the capture and disappearance of their princess, their kingdom has fallen into disarray. A knight, curious in his search, gets cursed. Because of this, he gets shunned and cast out from his own people and friends. He sets out on a journey to save the princess in hopes to lift both the curse on him and his kingdom. During his quest, he finds himself more fellow outcasts, freaks of their own homes, and join alongside him to find and rescue the princess. On this search, he finds the likes of a cursed jester, forced in a mask he can't take off, forever smiling, a lady goblin, shunned by her kind, a fairy, slowly deteriorating as the lack of life around the world prevents her kind from flourishing, and so many more. Pals at Work. As of the making of this video, there is no set storyline to this universe. However, I do have plans to do something with this universe. This universe is what I call pals at work. As in my first year of high school years ago, I had come across a funny looking bunny in a French class slideshow. I doodled him in my notebook. I soon grew an attachment to the little French bunny, labeling him as a classroom buddy. After that, I started to doodle different critters for all my other classes, each having a profession in each of their specific class chosen. The critter classroom buddies you'll meet here is Simon, the French bunny, Fred, the tired honey and coffee loving bear, Bandit, the trumpet playing crocodile, Spotner, the book loving panda, Gizmo, the singing duck, Buster, the science loving raccoon, Gale, the mathematically slithering salamander, and so many more, yet to be designed.
Just trust me, you'll be fine.
My bestest friend. Based on a children's book I made in high school, Mon cher ami Ashton. This is a wholesome story about two boys growing up together, being the best of friends, even if a language barrier keeps them from fully understanding each other. I have plans to expand this little book and make this into a one-season series, focusing on the nostalgic childhoods from the 2000s, as this series takes place in 2002. Imaginative play, creative visualization of a children's imagination. This is a very lighthearted and fun series. How the series ends will have an expansion to a time skip, to which that is still more in a super conceptual place. The main two friends are Ashton, a rowdy, ecstatic, extroverted boy who loves to roughhouse a lot, and his quieter but just as extroverted French-speaking friend, Philip. Other characters would include Christian, which is Ashton's mother, Miss Robinson, the boy's insightful teacher. There's Kat, Ashton's cool older cousin and babysitter, and the other kids in the neighborhood. Princess adaptations. As a kid, I have always been in a fairy tale obsession, and as the years have passed, I have in my head remade my own versions of various princess fairy tale stories into something uniquely mine. This would hold the magic and whimsy of, say, Disney princesses adaptations. But in my versions, it follows more closer to the dark and grittier original storylines from specifically the versions of the Grimm brothers. My versions would have familiar tropes seen, but in a modern way to feel fresh, having fun and unsuspecting twists to accompany them. These stories I had come up with as of right now would be the likes of Snow White, Cinderella, The Sleeping Beauty, and so much more.
Hello! Today I'd like to talk about all my OCs. Oh my,
Me and
that's a
them.
lot. Seems
This
manageable,
universe
though.
is a really special universe. As these characters so diverse and so different in stories, time periods, and realities, this universe is specifically a non-canon way for all these OCs to interact with one another. A universal collision, if you will. There are really no restrictions to this universe, so even the creator himself, me, can reside with my own characters. There is no set storyline with this, but for a long time, since 2021, I have wanted to come up with a crossover heavy film idea, and a specific video I had posted not too long ago has something to do with this universe. If I had anything to talk about this universe, it is, the pen is mightier than the sword, it has no limitation. But something and only one thing can stop it. An art block. Have fun figuring that plot out. So that is all my universes. Some are more developed than others, Some are for fun, and some I genuinely hope that one day can be developed into something big to entertain and be shown to the world. Everyone's support is not only appreciated, but it motivates me to continue to do what I love. Anyways, as stated in the intro, this is part 1 of many to come. After this video, I will focus on speaking on my OCs, and I will not only be talking about their bios, but I shall take you on a journey on that character's evolution. We will take looks on how that character came to be, how they were like prior to redesigns, and how they're holding up now, and relationships between one character and another. Of course, because I have so many, again, more than 150, I will be separating them accordingly. From human OCs, monster OCs, doodler OCs, series heavy oriented OCs, obscure OCs, and you get the gist. If you have comments on how I exactly ended up with so many storylines, universes, and characters, do not be afraid to ask in the comments. I'm so happy you watched to the end of one of my longest videos ever. This was also the first video I had edited that isn't on my phone, so if the video at times felt choppy, that'd be why. I'll continue to improve my skills in the future. A final question I have for you that doesn't necessarily correlate to the video is what kind of content would y'all be open to see? I mainly do art around here, so like story times, miniseries, comic showcases, speed paints, tutorials, and art clips. Those could all be possibilities. But I also like playing video games too. I play games like Mortal Kombat, Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, and more. If y'all are interested in that too, let me know in the comments. And that is pretty much it. Have a good day. Ooh.